Is there a secret cabal of alien lizard people who are secretly controlling the world? That's me. Well, it used to be. I used to be a crystal-wearing, Reiki-practicing, psychedelic-taking member of the New Age hippie community. In this series, I'm looking at all the crazy ideas that I used to believe in and seeing if they're real, harmless, or dangerous New Age snake oil. If you've been on the internet in the last decade, you have probably seen or heard about lizard people. The theory has been around since the late 90s, but with the resurgence of conspiracy theories since 2016, it's found an entirely new audience. Maybe you've seen this on TikTok.
But I am telling you right now, that motherfucker back there is not real.
While this video was a hoax, the comment section jumping off about lizard people absolutely was not. So what are all these people talking about? Let's get into it. So the gist of the theory is that in prehistory, aliens from the Draco star system came to Mesopotamia and created a race of alien primate hybrids to work as slaves in the gold mines. Can I say slaves on YouTube? The unpaid mining interns were kind of left to do their own thing for centuries, while the lizard aliens secretly ran everything in the background. The lizard aliens ended up breeding with some of the interns, creating a diluted bloodline and a caste system in the process, with humans on the bottom, hybrid lizards in the middle, and full-blooded aliens on the top. Later, when we start talking about famous people who may or may not be lizards, they're actually only hybrid lizards, so really just alien middle management. So what evidence do these lizard people theorists have? Well, some of them will point to the very real myths of serpent people that exist in Egypt, India, and Mesopotamia. Now, unfortunately, this proof is not exactly a well-rounded representation of these cultures or myths. In Egyptian mythology, the serpent can represent both chaos and protection, and is a multifaceted character with diverse meanings. Also, it has a pretty nice cock. When it comes to Hindu mythology, Nagas are indeed serpent-like beings, but they are richly woven into the culture and religious fabric as both a positive and negative entity. Proponents of the lizard people theory intentionally misrepresent ancient texts and boil them down until they're left with just lizard people. So what about modern evidence? Well, images like these are great for YouTube clickbait, but they're entirely misrepresentative of what's actually happening in these photos, or are just blatant fakes. How did this theory go from being written about in 1920s pulp fiction magazines to being discussed by Joe Rogan or being the topic of Netflix shows that got canceled way before they should have?
The world is controlled by shadowy elites and shape-shifting lizard people.
David Icke, former football broadcaster turned conspiracy theorist. Now, I have always heard his name pronounced Ike, but in this research, I've heard other people say Ick. I'm gonna say Ike because that's what I always heard, and that's what I always said, and I was saying his name enough that I feel like someone would have corrected me. In his book, The Biggest Secret, which, by the way, has the most 1999 book cover I've ever seen. Seriously, look at it. Icke says that he interviewed people who had direct access to the royal family and confirmed that they are in fact lizard people. He also says to have had the same information regarding US presidents and high-level government officials. Interesting point, when I was deep in this, everyone agreed Hillary Clinton was a lizard person, but Bill Clinton was not. Now apparently they're both lizard people, so sorry, Bill? I don't know what that's all about. According to Icke, these lizard people are not just extraterrestrial beings. They're part of an intricate conspiracy. They seek to establish a global government, a new world order where they have absolute control over humanity, manipulating world events, economies, and societies to consolidate power and subjugate the human population. Getting weird with it again, Icke says that these aliens also feed off negative emotions. They are psychic vampires. And this is where things get a little new agey, because this can often get adopted into the cult of positivity, that if you are going to escape the treadmill of negative emotions the lizards want you on, you have to be constantly positive, no matter what the situation. I had a friend with 100% straight face tell me if I ever encountered a lizard person, I had to greet them with unconditional love. They are not built for it and they don't know how to handle it. I don't know what situation he thought I was going to be in, but hey, maybe it'll help someday. So beyond just the mass amounts of crazy juice, this is where the theory completely falls apart for me. So these interstellar aliens, who are by all means all powerful, made us. They made the human species, but for some reason choose to govern from the shadows. Why? They don't need to do that. And then let's get to the whole reason they supposedly made us in the first place. They made us to mine for gold? They have interstellar space travel. Certainly, they can build robots. Just build robots. Then you don't have to pretend to not be a lizard. Here's where things get less fun. The lizard people theory has been heavily criticized for being anti-Semitic. Some argue that it carries anti-Semitic undertones because of its striking resemblance to conspiracy theories that were often leveled at Jewish people. One notable concern is a secret global cabal controlling world events. This notion has historical roots in anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, such as the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, a fabricated text that falsely alleged a Jewish plot to control the world, as well as some blood sacrifice. Side note, if anyone ever mentions the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, run. When I was involved in these theories, it was pretty well talked about that there were some anti-Semitic undertones, and Ike swore up and down that he was not an anti-Semite. And at the time, I probably would have said, you're cherry picking. These are just theories that have been levied against Jewish people that have no relation. It's important to note that in 2020, David Icke was removed from Facebook and Twitter for sharing theories that 5G was causing COVID and somehow a Jewish cult was involved as well. So, yeah, he's not exactly a shining beacon of anti-Semitism. Up until 2020, Icke was fading into obscurity. He was one of those names that was said, and if you know, you know, kind of a way to test out other people and see how deep down the rabbit hole they were. But that's changing. Lizard people theory is on the rise. People are talking about it again as if it's very, very real. For most people, reptilian theory is just a joke. It's a thing to point and laugh at, or to point at one particular tech bro and point out how he's oddly reptilian. But there is a subsect of people who firmly believe this. Believe as in 100% not a metaphor, not an allegory, not a joke. There are shape-shifting aliens living in our country. When I was running in these circles, I had someone tell me they thought I was a lizard person. And yeah, it was kind of funny, but they stopped talking to me. Legitimately stopped having me in their life because they thought I was a secret reptilian being. And that's a very mild case of consequences of this theory. Anytime we start othering people and claiming that one group has a mass power over the populace, things get really dicey. On a much lighter note, I have a list of supposed aliens. Let's go. Barack Obama, obviously. Mark Zuckerberg, duh. Beyonce, don't know about it. Taylor Swift, she's not cool enough. Kanye is not on any list I can find, but I want to take every chance I can to remind people of when Kanye tried to walk on water in Armenia in 2016. Look it up. He genuinely thinks he's the Messiah. Hillary Clinton, obviously. George Bush, duh. The royal family, come on, give me a hard one. Probably all royal families, sure. That's it. That's all I could find. Like and subscribe. I'm going to be talking about New Age things more. Talk about theories that I believed in. Send me theories that you've heard of, and I will see you next time. Bye.